Tomorrow we are going to read Parashat Tetzaveh. After a brief introduction about the oil for the menorah, it talks a lot about the clothing of the Kohanim, of the priest, and we know that the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, has 8 type of clothing that he has to wear. And the Kohen Hediot, the regular priest, has 4 of them. And they are the Ma'il, Bechnesaim, and Abnet, and Migbat, which means that he has like a robe, and underneath that underwears, and Abnet, the belt, and the hat. The belt was particular because it was 16 meters high. It is 32 feet long, and it was 6 centimeters wide, and it was colorful. That was what is unique about the clothing of the regular Kohen Hediot. And the Torah describes the dressing of the Kohanim. Ve'asita b'gdi kodesh la'aron achicha לכבוד ולתפארת, and you shall make holy dresses to your brother Aharon, לכבוד for respect and splendor. Incidentally, the kavod is somebody who does have respect not because of something that he did, like for example the Kohanim. If somebody comes from nice family, if his father was general in the army or famous daughter, he can have kavod of the family. Family is nice. The Tetzaveh means somebody that he did himself, and that's why when I remember for the last maybe 15 years I watched when in the Independence Day of Israel, when they give the Pras Israel, the prize, Israel prize to people, they say diamond, it will end every one presentation, ולתפארת מדינת Israel, the splendor of the state of Israel, because everyone did something that helped the state to progress in all fields of humanities. So today I'm going to talk about 2 things. I'm going to talk about the issue of the kippah, and I'm going to talk about the dresses, the clothing in general. We'll start with the issue of the kippah, because here it is for somebody who comes from Syria, where we couldn't wear kippah in the street because of fear. So we, to have it all the time was strange concept when we came to the United States, or even when you are in Israel, but to a lot lesser extent. So the question is, when should we wear kippah? Should we wear it only when we pray, when we do berachot, or when we study Torah, or should be done all the time? Like many of the religious people do. That was intrigued my curiosity to try to find out the story of this issue. It seems clear to me that the origin of covering the head is from this parasha. That the Kohanim, both the Kohen Gadol and Kohen Hediot, they have to wear head cover when they do the avodah, when the service of Beit HaMikdash. And we do know that if any item is missing, or the avodah is pesula, like they didn't do that. So it is really an old custom, and apparently it is in the Mishnah. It says that during the Mishnah time that people to a large extent or lesser extent, they cover their head, and there is also like for example one rabbi, Rabbi Nachman ben Ishaq, that he always wore kippah, and he gave good reasoning that star teller told his mom that he's gonna be a thief. So she asked him, what shall I do so he doesn't become a thief and get into trouble? The rabbis advised her that he should always cover his head, because with that, the Shekhinah, Yirat Shamayim, and the Shekhinah will be on him, and he won't be a thief, he won't steal. And in fact, he says that every time when he uncovers his head, he has urge to steal. So that means that there is Mora Shamayim. And in fact, we do know that in two situations, the Mishnah says that head covering kippah should be worn, and that is the judges in the court, and when somebody visits the sick person, no aleno, that they should cover it. And Rashi said that because of Mora Shamayim, because of fear of God. And that's why we do it. So here we can say that the kippah, when somebody wears it, it will bring Mora Shamayim. And there is also Rabbi Hunna ben Yoshua. He said that he never walked 4 feet without, which is 2 meters, without his head being covered. And so is that then halakha it became, or it is not? In fact, the Shulchan Aruch says that he should have, no one should walk for 2 meters without head cover. And however, there are other people that they are his contemporary, like Mehershel ben Shlomo Luria. He said that this is not the case, and it is only Minhag Hasidut that you can't oblige people to always walk with head cover. And the consensus is this, that it's not obligatory, but it is good to bring Mora Shamayim. And Hacham Obadiah also favors strongly that somebody should cover his head. He doesn't say that it is halakha, but it is a way to identify with the religious camp in the midst of secular society. And especially, apparently, there are some people who are like bragging that they are Hilonim. So it is important to show that the religious camp among the population of Israel is large. So he recommends that. So what is the take on that? The take on that is the following: that there is no doubt that if somebody covers his head and wears kippah of any kind, we have many kinds. We have the kippah shhora, the black one, which is more religious. We have kippah sruga, and this is for that Sioni Dati, like people who both combine the love of Israel, so they are, but Datim at the same time. And you have the big white kippah of like the follower of Rab Nachman Breslev, and there are all kind of kippot, but everyone usually can tell you to what ideology the wearer does belong to. So should we wear it or no? I do believe, my personal opinion, and I always say don't listen to me without talking to your rabbi. It is good idea to wear kippah if you can. However, it comes with very, very big responsibility, and that is, although many people can tell that we are Jews, somehow they can tell, they can smell it. But when we have kippah, it means like we are sealed that we are Jewish. That brings significant responsibility, and that is that we have to behave on the street with our offices, with our employees, and with our bosses, with everyone that surrounds us, with ultimate responsibility. That our behavior should always bring Kedushat Hashem, Kiddush Hashem, the elevation of the sanctification of the name of God. And Has v'Halila, if we behave differently, it will bring the other way around. Has v'Shem Halul Hashem, and Halul Hashem we do know that not Yisurim, not Yom Kippur, rak mitalo aleinu velo alechem. So it is very, very big responsibility. So I do believe, it is my humble opinion, that if somebody knows himself that he can conduct himself in a way to bring sanctification to the name of God, he should wear kippah, he should cover his head. If he can't, he should not do that. And that is my humble opinion. Now, regarding the ladies, should they cover their head or no? I mean, let's talk about, I do know that many people, married women, they cover their head out of modesty, of tzniut. However, what is really the law? Should they cover it or not? Again, when it comes to dvar kedusha, like when they are in the synagogue, the head should be covered. When they pray at home, the head should be covered. When they do beracha, the head should be covered. But of course, if it is not, and this is applicable to both single ladies and married women. But otherwise, there is no obligation, except if it is question of modesty, and this is not what we are talking about in general. So now, regarding as we mentioned before, that the pasuk said, "V'asita b'gdi kodesh לכבוד ולתפארת." In English, they say that it's not that's not the clothing who makes the man, it's the man who makes the clothing, which means that in essence, that what you wear doesn't really matter. You can wear very fancy and you are low life, or the other way around, you can wear anything and still you are mechubad. So the truth of the matter is that in Jewish life, the bgadim is a very, very important item. Yaakov Avinu says, it is, clothing is of utmost necessity. And in fact, just the day of yesterday, I read in email from Esh Torah. It is an article, beautiful, short and beautiful, from a gentleman. His name is Sivan Rahav Meir. He said that the clothing makes the person, and he introduced his article by statement from Hacham Rabbi Yitzhak HaKohen Cook, Abraham HaKohen Cook, was the chief rabbi of Jerusalem, of Israel, before, towards the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. He was ardent Zionist and a big lover of Israel. Who wrote a book about the prayers. And he said that every time when we say in Birkat HaShahar, Malbish Arumim, he sits and he ponders on that. And he said that this is for two reasons. Number one, we should thank God that we do have clothes. This is that we thank for God. And I also believe that other explanation that if if somebody is in the hospital, he doesn't wear clothes. He has on the hospital gown, and that's all that he has. So thank God we are outside of the hospital, and we can wear regular clothes. And we also know from the Torah that if somebody his financial situation deteriorated so much that he has to lease out his clothing, the Torah oblige him to return it to that person when he needs it. That clothing is very, very important. And we know that he made the te'ena for Adam Arishon, Hashem, and that's how we know that he is Malbish Arumim. However, the most noticeable thing is that Hacham Cook said that only of all the beings, animal and human, only humans do get dressed. So this is a distinction given only to humans, to Ben Adam. And he said that somebody has to act and behave like a human being when he wears clothes. No other animals does that, and that comes with significant responsibility. And so he thanks God for that we could have created us horse or anything else, but no, he created a human being. We thank you for that. Also, we do know that when somebody in God dress well, he not only he that means that he shows that he gives respect to the other. No one will go see, even not, I didn't want to say the President of the United States, if he's going to go to see the precinct chief of police, he won't go in sandals and in shorts. He get dressed. That means that he's giving kavod, he's giving respect to the one who's sitting across from him. And we do know, like in courts, they have strict dress code. No one can come in sandals or without sleeves. It has to be to preserve the dignity of the court. Somebody has to dress accordingly, and that means that when we come to shul, we can't come in just like that. As much as possible, I know there are circumstances when it is impossible. In fact, I was myself with my kids in Florida on Shabbat, and we were walking on the walk, and somehow we got lost, we got delayed, and for Mincha we went in shorts to Ashkenazi shul. So we prayed there, and then after that somebody came, he held me from the arm. He said, incidentally, next time if you're gonna come like that, don't come. Find somebody else. I told him I had either to come like that or not pray in Minyan. He said, okay, I understand, but we would like to keep the decorum of the synagogue as such. This is an exception, not the rule. And we do know that doesn't only reflects kavod, respect to the other. We do know from Pirkei Avot, Ezeu mechubad amchabed et habriot. When we give respect to others, they will respect us in return. And so when we get dressed properly for that situation, no one is asking somebody to have tuxedo on the beach or tuxedo when he goes to see basketball game, but it has to be proper for that situation. When he will get kavod in return. For sure, that will be true in Bet Knesset, ki mechabedai echabed ubozai hekalu, that it is in the Navi that the one who respect God, he will get respect back, and hazve halila lehefech, it is not bad. And in the same article that Sivan Rahav wrote in that Esha Torah email, he did mention that he had a friend during his secondary school that everyone, they used to study to cram before the 12th grade examination. They didn't care what do they wear, pajama, shorts, barefoot. She used to get dressed perfect, like she's going out to important meeting. And she used to tell him that when she get dressed that way, she will have self-respect and she will understand the subject much better than if she's not dressed up that way. I really believe there is a lot of truth of that. So the clothing, beside being a necessity, because without that some people will get subject to change in temperature that can be dangerous, it will bring honor not only to the people around us, to the milieu around us, but it will bring honor and self-esteem to ourselves also. So I hope we take that to heart, and we will dress something that will bring גם כבוד וגם תפארת לנו and to the people around us. Shabbat shalom.